Welcome back, everybody. All right, so this is going to be a today's topic reading for the 14th of April. Sorry, I had to think about the month there. As always, you guys can enter to win a free read with me just by writing the word compassion in the comment section. That lets me know you want to be entered to win. I do choose at least one subscriber each week, and then I go ahead and I always do the free reading publicly so that there's never any question mark as to who the winner was. Like I say, I do one every like 7 days. And it's not always the same day. When I do choose somebody, I will, excuse me, I always mention at the very beginning, hey, I've chosen somebody, so stick around to the end and you'll hear the free reading and who the winner's name is. So that's how that works. In case you're new to my channel, welcome. I always do it publicly so that everybody knows. And it's just kind of like a freestyle storyline. Whatever pops out is whatever pops out. I don't take any questions. I don't want to know zodiac signs. It's just to see. It's more fun that way because it's so random. And yeah, so anyway, there you have it. I will say lately I've been doing the free reading usually around, like I'll record it kind of around a weekend, which means it really comes out on like a Monday or Tuesday sometimes, because I usually like pre-record things because I always have these videos come out an entire 24 hours in advance if you're in like North America, because that's where I'm located. But I always put these videos out early. And so anyway, there you have it. That's too much more complication. Let's just move forward. So we start this out with a message from the universe, which is 5 of Cups in the reverse. It's time to not be sad over something. And I will say this, because this is kind of the story of King Arthur and Lancelot, and they were best friends, but then eventually King Arthur's lady wound up going with his best friend Lancelot instead, right? So even if there was some kind of somebody didn't stay with us, somebody chose somebody else, the universe is saying there's nothing to grieve over this, which I know is really hard to think of it in that context. But let's ask the universe why they're saying that. Sorry, I have to have a gigantic sip of my tea. If the universe is saying, no, baby, don't cry over this one, 6 of Staves, because you got something amazing, and 8 of Cups, your success is up ahead. This is like, don't cry for a moment over somebody that chose someone other than you. That person who chose somebody else, we don't even need to wonder how that's going to work out for them. The only thing we care about is where we're headed next. You are headed into, first off, a tremendous amount of success with that 6 of Staves. Your life, you're riding in the chariot. Only an emperor or an empress rides in the chariot. I hate to say it this way, but if we had stayed with that person, they would have bogged us down. The success that you're meant to have, you couldn't have that person riding in the chariot with you, because usually only one person rides in the chariot. There is, especially when we couple it with the 8 of Cups, your destiny is so much bigger. Now, I hate to use the word destiny because I believe we make our own destiny. I don't think anything is written for us. I think we have free will, so we make our life what we want it to be. However, here's the thing. The universe is actually whispering to us, darling, you kind of knew all along that this one wasn't going to work out for us, because we've been torn in half secretly at our innermost, deepest, most selves. We have known all along that there is another great adventure that we are still very committed to having. Our soul is committed to having it. We have wanted to, and it looks like we have something in mind for travel, or we have something in mind for, you notice he's headed straight towards Stonehenge. There is a great, adventurous, mysterious, I don't know, maybe some of you are interested in archaeology and you've wanted to go back to ancient Egypt, or you wanted to go to Stonehenge, or you wanted to go and explore something tremendous in this life. Something that may either put your name on the map, not saying that you're doing it for like personal, accolades and success necessarily, but something that your soul has been hungry to experience, to explore. I feel like you are very much an explorer, somebody who cannot be, forgive me for saying it this way because it may sound so rude, but you're not supposed to just hang out and live in a castle with a relationship. That's just not, maybe you're looking for a little less conventional life. You're not looking for the white picket fence and the minivan and the, whatever it is, 2.5 kids. There's nothing wrong with that. That is an amazing life. But if your soul in both of these, we see you as a single person. In both of these, somewhere deep down, you weren't ready to actually be in this long-term commitment truthfully. And so the universe maybe did this person a favor by, I mean, they might have been very shallow for sure, but maybe that's why you had someone in your life that was shallow, because they almost, you needed to not have a long-term commitment just yet, even though you thought maybe you wanted one, even though maybe there was a lot of sadness or grief that someone would have gone with somebody else. They chose somebody instead of me. Heck, maybe they chose a friend instead of me, or whatever it was. They chose somebody else. But if you notice, these two, like even their hair color matches, right? If the person you were with wanted to live a life that is a very different caliber than yours, you look like a trailblazer. You look like somebody who, you're on this earth to make waves. You're on this earth to pursue things that not everybody is capable of. So you were with someone who really, they matched better with somebody else, somebody who was going to stay in a castle, not go out and explore the way you are. It makes a lot of sense why we're saying, or the universe is saying, don't cry over that one, because you already knew you chose someone who was probably destined to break up with you because you were going to need them to, because you still had this other huge plan for your soul. There's something else that you're actually hungrier for, more so than that relationship. If we are super raw and honest, okay, and that takes a huge amount of like raw and honest. But we picked somebody who was going to leave us because we needed to be set free. And that may sound really rude and almost conniving, but it's not, because here's the thing. We were feeling really hurt over this. This is more like we're going through a lot of sorrow, and then the universe is saying, release it, because your soul's purpose that maybe isn't even fully revealed to us yet, that's what's coming. Like there is a purpose for all of this. There is a purpose that this person was taken off of your plate and put onto someone else's plate. It's because your purpose is something that very few people could fulfill but you. There's a journey, there's an adventure, and it is something that suits you so beautifully, but you couldn't have had it if you were stuck in a castle with the wrong character. So let that character stay stuck in a castle with somebody else, because baby, you got travels up here. You got success. You've got an adventure of a lifetime up ahead. So, I mean, I'm digging the start of this. Tell me a little bit more. We have to stop with that deck. We have to go with this deck. Can I get one card about the traveler here? And that's probably what I'll refer to this character as, the traveler, the one who the universe is talking to. I only read this deck in the upright because it's an oracle deck. Embrace your inner gypsy, freedom, fun, music. I'm telling you, talk about travel. You're headed for faraway places. You're headed for experiences and people that you never dreamed you would meet. I have to say, you didn't match with this person. In this, our traveler did not match with the person they were with. The person who left our traveler to go be with somebody else, they couldn't have stayed with our traveler, because our traveler is meant for all these other experiences. The person that you match with is probably from a different culture. They're probably from some other place, some other experience in the world. There's a depth to them. There's a wildness to them that matches your own wildness. This is exciting. This is very exciting energy to start with. So I don't want to paint the picture like this person is like too boring for us, but I guess that's a little bit of what I'm saying. We weren't meant to stay in a safe, permanent relationship when we are an explorer, when we are a traveler. I only read this deck in the upright as well. We have a 3 of coins going to the 4 of coins. Seriously, this cooperation that we were in with that person, it wouldn't have worked for us. We needed to pull all of our energy back. You could have gotten stuck on an assembly line kind of life. And that's not who you are. That would have made you feel like a statue, and you would have had all these dreams in your mind of things that you wanted to pursue, and you couldn't have pursued them if you had stayed with that person. There's this huge sense of awareness now. Again, you're not meant for the assembly line kind of life. We have a 6 of Swords to the 7 of Swords, and we have the Strength card to the Hermit. The Hermit is also on a personal journey. Okay, so here's the thing. If we realized somewhere along the line that this relationship wasn't working for us, but realizing it and knowing it are two different things, right? So with the Six of Swords going to the Seven of Swords, I gotta say there was a lot of unspoken communication that happened between you and this person. They knew that they basically needed to get out of the way a little bit. There was something needed to change here, but neither one ever talked about it. Yes, there was. It's like you would have been. They knew they couldn't hold on to you. Let me put it that way. They couldn't hold on to you. They couldn't have held on to you. They knew that they didn't match you in your journey. That's what this boils down to. They could see that there's something unique about you. You're not an assembly line kind of person. They knew that you would have stayed with them and it would have not been right. They knew this. That would have been a lie, but you would have been in a foundation with them and you wouldn't have walked away from them. So instead, they did something to make it so that there was no choice left but for you to go on that journey, that solo journey. There's something about like this person knows you have a ton of courage that they didn't possess. They didn't realize that, well, they did realize that you are cut from a different cloth. There is something about you where you want the journey. You will walk through gateways nobody else would. You will be the person who goes and you climb the Himalayas by yourself because there's something that you need to experience. You whatever, you want to go and sleep in at one of the tea houses, in Tibet. They're terrified to travel. You want to go backpacking. It doesn't have to be something that extreme. It's just that this card really represents the difference here. You're on a really powerful soul journey and you have a ton of courage, and this person knew they did not have the courage to be on that journey with you, but you would have stayed for them and you would not have been happy. It would not have worked. The life that they wanted was not the life that your courage is propelling you toward. So in a weird way, I gotta say, I almost feel like this person knew before you did that this was not where you were meant to be, that I got to say that you basically outshined them. You are looking for a different mountain to climb. There's a sense of courage to you and adventure that they just didn't possess. So here we are. This is you actually walking through. You've already gone through this gateway. Okay. Your sense of power is increasing right now. You don't even realize how strong you are. This person. Okay. I think my doggy will be a little bit more quiet now. He was protecting us from the noises of neighbors. He becomes a little guard dog. So sorry about that. No, I feel like this person already knows that you've already walked through this doorway. You're well on your way. You've set things in motion that they may know it more than you do. You're well on your way to something new. You're already you're exploring something. Your life is headed in a totally different direction, even right now. Knight of Coins going to the Queen of Coins. She's pregnant. She's going to give birth to something new. You are taking action already, and your life is. Some of you could really be starting, not just starting a journey, but whatever the journey is, the information that you are gathering, the experience that you are getting is going to become like this amazing, like, idea that you bring to life. You could start a company, you could create a product, but it will be, you notice how she's touching the coins and they're lighting up. There's something that your energy flow is, you're producing something in this lifetime, but it's because you've gone on some spiritual journey. You've gone on some, I feel like the journey has something to do with foreign cultures, other lands, being exposed to different ideas, traveling, meeting other people, collecting information and experiences. Hi, sweetheart. Collecting information and experiences that then help you to become inspired to create whatever this is. Seven of Cups to the Eight of Cups. This is the second time now that we've had the Eight of Cups. You are finding your place in this life. And it is at the forefront of something huge, the forefront of something that the world needs. I feel like it's very global. I feel like this is, you're starting to realize that you have so many more skills. You're meant for so much more. We have a Knight of Swords to the Queen of Swords. You're learning things that you in turn may be teaching others. Look at this. You keep coming across as wild. Now you're a wild stallion, but you're being watched over and graced and protected in every step of the way. You keep, for some of you, we're talking about the divine feminine within you. You could be a masculine just as easily, or you could be a female. But whatever this is, your ability to create and generate new ideas, new products, the further you step into this creative flow, the more you are exploring the environment that you live in. And this does not mean that you have to go far, far away. You could, in your own town, you could wind up going to different local events, and pretty soon you become a local journalist and you cover all kinds of amazing things. And from there, you get really interested in meeting lots of different people. And from there, you start to have these new, fresh ideas, and you start to, whatever, build a community center, and you get the support of a community around you because you're really interested in the people that make up a community, or the people of the world. Whatever this is, your singular energy and your sense of freedom and your sense of interest in the world around you, you start to become very acknowledged and very seen by others. Other people they want to learn from you what you're doing, but it all sparks from you just being courageous enough to go and explore the world. You're always hungry for information. You're hungry for new experiences in a way that that previous partner was not. And if you had stayed with them, you would not have had the variable of all the different people you were going to meet. You would have been on an assembly line. The friends that they had would have been your friends. Everybody thinks the same way, same party line. You work on just the same lifestyle, and that's not what you're here to do. Now that you're shifting further and further into your more broad perspective, and the contributions that you're making for maybe the whole planet, you can see that the universe is overlooking you even from the clouds with this wild stallion. It's like, yes, you are shining. You are never more powerful than when you are doing what you authentically care about. It's like your mind is getting sharper. Your ideas are becoming more fleshed out. You may be getting asked to speak in front of lots of different groups. You may be asked to share your knowledge, your wisdom, your ideas with different people. This could be on a spiritual basis. This could be, okay, let me throw this out because this is in my head. Maybe this breakup that you have with somebody sets you on a journey where you go, you know what, gosh darn it, I'm just going to take this trip. I'm going to go, maybe you're going 40 miles away from where you live into the desert to do a vision quest, or maybe you're going into onto a different continent, but you're going to go and seek some answers because this might have thrown you for a loop. But the thing is, only you would have been brave enough to have a relationship that goes south, and then you go, well, I can't sit around and cry about it. Looks like I got to go figure out, more about myself and what am I supposed to gain out of this? And you take off, and you basically, instead of being stuck, you wind up expanding. The person who broke things off with you in a devious manner, they really knew that you have a sense of courage that they didn't possess. That this is exactly how you would operate if they do something that is going to end this relationship. Not only are you going to be fine, you're going to be more fine than ever without them, because they knew that they didn't match you. Your vision for the experiences that you are here to have in this world, they were afraid to join you on those experiences. That is perhaps the reason why they chose the assembly line instead. Not everybody has the courage to do what you do. This person knew it. So as you are now exploring life, contributing to life in a whole different way, living a much more adventurous life and becoming recognized for it, you're learning a lot about boundaries and about when to take action. Wow. And that's where you meet your person, the Hierophant and the Lovers. The person you were with was not your person. This is your person. But you couldn't have found this person had you not. I feel like some of you, whatever you discover, you perhaps bring that to the point where maybe you become a speaker, maybe you do some kind of like lecturing, maybe you travel around and a lot of people want to hear what you have to say. And that's where you meet someone that is your real person. So I almost feel it's never to act like, oh, well, isn't it lucky that you got cheated on or that somebody, treated us bad? No, 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 no. That's a terrible thing to go through. But I will say this storyline, I was asking the universe, what's the universe have to say? And the universe is the one saying, you're lucky that person cheated on you. I'm sorry, there's no gentle way for me to say it. We're lucky that it happened that way because with our level of commitment that this character has, we would have stayed committed to somebody who would have been the wrong person and we never would be able to meet this person. This person that is our true match unless we were able to become our truest version of ourselves, the wildness that is within us, the courageous version of ourselves, the part of us that says, I am here to learn a bunch of important things about the earth. Maybe you're a geologist and you want to go study the glaciers. And then along the way, you come back with all kinds of information and you're sharing that with others. And people really care to know, what did you see? What do you think about that? What is the information you can share with us? You're a part of something bigger. And then you actually end up with a very intimate relationship as well. So it was never that you aren't supposed to be with someone. It's just that you needed to be with the right someone. And this is, this Hierophant shows hand fasting, which is like an ancient Celtic tradition. It's a different kind of marriage. It's every bit as binding, but it doesn't necessarily have the same level of like getting married in a church. It's actually a faster way to get married. Also, it's I guess I'll say a more informal way. I would view it as like a marriage of the souls, and so it's a really powerful card because this is our true match. The Hierophant to the Lovers, you are the person I choose, and they choose you. But we don't meet them unless we are able to go and explore. And they could be one of millions of different people. You notice all the people that here you are, you keep thinking that you're going solo. No, you're not, because every time you go solo, you wind up in front of hordes of people, different cultures of people, a whole group of people. Every time you keep thinking that I'm just solo, I'm just supposed to be single, the universe is like, not even. You're picking up the information that you need to then transfer it to the masses. And that is where you actually find your real match, also your love match. So interesting that we see a character who thinks that I guess I'm just not supposed to be with anyone. And the universe is like, excuse me, no, you got that wrong. You're supposed to be with the right someone. You do have to do a few things that are totally solo, totally for you, all about immersing yourself in experiences and relationships with strangers that have nothing to do with romance. I really want to say that this is almost like a character who takes a break from romance and gets super invested in other things of interest to them. I'm interested in learning about this culture. I'm interested in, like whatever your hobby is becomes a real passion. And out of that comes like a purpose in life. And out of that purpose in life puts you in front of tons of different people. And out of that, you meet the partner that matches you. So very exciting. This is like a movie quality life. I dig it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end that one there. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for liking this video. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. As always, like I say, I am just a writer who writes without a pen. I am not a psychic. I don't tell you how your life's going to go. Only listen to my free entertainment for inspiration and food for thought, right? So thank you for being here. Lots of love. Bye.